wax cylinders are not working. I mean, they are, but not for... Well, the entire point of this, I had thought to capture it, or him, what I'm hearing. But when he speaks, his words aren't actually being recorded. It comes through as some type of distortion. It's a horrid thing to hear. The disturbances started last week. Small things at first. Some of my items had been mislaid. And then it was the roof. It kept opening on its own. But that sounds absurd. I should offer some context. To whom, I'm not sure, but... Still, I reside in a converted conservatory. My sister's home. The roof is mechanized and operated by a hand crank. One of Tim's nifty modifications. It's no easy feat to open or close. It takes a bit of elbow grease, of which I don't have much to spare. My point being, the roof is not able to just open itself. Some considerable concentrated force is doing it and leaving me to deal with it. The damn thing's a beast to close. And then, 2 nights ago, he spoke. Tim. I know it's Tim. I remember that voice. But despite these 2 attempts, there is no actual evidence of what I'm hearing. Playing back the dictaphone tube just now, he was speaking, you see, in both instances. That first recording was made here in my room. It makes sense that I heard him here. When Tim was alive, this was his workshop. Most of his belongings are still here, just packed away. Out of sight, but definitely not out of mind. It feels odd. Saying his name. Tim. We've spent years trying to let it fade. It still carries a sting. But here I am, talking about him again. Like I never stopped.
Applesauce. The cylinder ran out.
God, where was I? My second try was in the music room, at Tim's piano. The thing was playing itself. I'd bet a full clam those notes were By the Light of the Silvery Moon. June's favorite. And while I set the dictaphone close on the piano bench, no less, nothing. Just some type of interference. But Tim was speaking. I could hear him, as clear as day. And you can hear me on this recording, and the gears of the roof and the piano, but not him. Why? There's no wind. Can you hear that? There's not so much as a breeze. Oh, applesauce.
It's been a few years since I've used
One of these. Still. Okay, there.
Okay.
Well, I took down the wind chimes. All of them. I'm sure June will insist on rehanging them. I dropped one, though. I'm not sure June will be able to repair it. Some of the glass shards are cracked. The string binding's unraveled. June's not very hands-on when it comes to projects like that. Tim handled those sorts of things. Oh, cripes. I have to get to work. found the dictaphone in the music room when I got home this morning. I didn't put it there. It was here, by the bed when I left for work, and I certainly didn't record that, whatever that was. The piano's shot. Every single chord is frayed, split right down the middle. The keys are dead. I don't know when we'll be able to afford a repair. June hasn't touched it since Tim died. She may not even notice, honestly. I suppose it's not pressing. The dictaphone picked up that distortion again, in lieu of his actual words. It's impossible to know what he's saying. Yesterday, when I was in the room, there was just one word. June. That's my sister's name. His wife. He didn't seem to be asking for her. Just saying the name. Like a recitation. Other times I can hear him muttering. It's incoherent mostly, but the words I do manage to catch don't make much sense. I don't think June has noticed or heard anything. I can't seem to make myself ask her outright. I almost did last night on my way out. These events seem to happen when she's not home, or they're just in my room, or maybe she just hasn't had the opportunity to witness or hear one yet. Either that or I'm going mad. Oh, I feel like I'm going mad. Maybe I am. I am hiding out in the old stairwell to the cellar, talking to myself. I'm not sure Tim knew about these stairs, so I had the thought that they might be safe. June may not be having the same experiences I am, but she mentioned Tim's pocket watch today. It's been almost 3 years. I thought she'd forgotten about the thing. Does that mean she does feel or sense something? The pocket watch doesn't work. I never bothered fixing it. It doesn't seem fitting that a watch should tick again if Tim can't. No, not the roof, not the roof. Well, I've just been thoroughly reprimanded. June saw the roof open earlier. When I moved in, I was given explicit instructions to leave the thing closed. She's afraid it'll get stuck open. And of course I've left it shut, despite the temptation to open it. Who doesn't want to spend their night staring up at the stars? I don't really have a way of explaining it's not me opening the damn thing. I don't quite believe what's happening here. How can I expect June to? I thought some whiskey might help calm my nerves. I ran out of my supply, but I have what's left of a god-awful bottle Tim was stashing. Here. Another barkeep. Better. It occurred to me that I might be approaching this process too flippantly. I'm going to start better documenting these supernatural occurrences. I never fancied myself a spiritualist, yet here we are. Please note the date, October 16th, 1926. To start more formally this time, my name is Lenora Bowen. I reside at 23700 Magnolia Avenue, St. Augustine, Florida. It's a damp and swampy sort of town. As you may hear, I am recording from a cellar underneath my house. The cellar floods depending on the time of year. I'm wearing rubber boots to keep my knickers dry. I don't come down here too often. It's just a convenient spot to keep my collection of hooch hidden away. Not that I'm afraid of a raid, necessarily. Not by the cops, anyway. I'm terrified of June, though. She's chair of the city's chapter of the Women's Christian Temperance Union. And her mouth shrivels away whenever she's upset. All right, to date, there have been 6 6 instances I deem worthy of mention. On October 10th, a series of family photos has been rearranged in my room. I confirmed June Martin, my sister and the only other resident of this house, was not responsible for the redecorating. On October 11th, a stack of shelved sheet music inexplicably fell to the ground and sorted itself. On October 12th, I awoke to someone speaking, something about architecture, then some difficult to discern excitement over a new piece of sheet music. I was alone at the time. October 13th, the mechanism that opened the roof in my bedroom began turning of its own volition. On October 14th, the piano played itself, or attempted to. I don't think it's been tuned since Tim shipped out. Then, yesterday, October 15th, the piano sort of destroyed itself. And somehow managed to capture it all on... These tubes. Annoying, but it's all I have on hand. This was Tim's dictaphone, actually. He used to record bits and pieces of original compositions at the piano. He was awful at writing music, but always tremendously proud. I found an entire box of unused cylinders in the closet. He must have had plans for more music. Maybe that's what was happening at the piano? Tim making more music? There I go again. All right. Continuing. Based on this handful of incidents, I have reason to believe that it's my deceased brother-in-law, Timothy Martin, who is haunting us. Or me, I suppose. Annoying, but fitting. Tim was a tug-at-your-pigtails personality in life. It makes sense that he'd be the same in death. What was... That crash was Tim's tool chest. I shoved it beneath the bed when I moved in. I haven't touched the rusty thing until... Oh. Oh, the roof, Nick, stop. What? Would you just... Ah! What do you want? October 17th, 1926. Another reprimand from my sister today. Reprimand feels tame. She's livid. I've actually never seen... June isn't one to give in to a fit of anger or passion or emotion, really. I understand her frustration. Hell, I share it. But her behavior is odd. Tim. Oh, God. Just now, I saw... I arrived home from work later than usual. It must have been around 4 a.m. There was a sound coming from June's bedroom. I felt the need to check on her. With all that's going on, she was in bed, caught in the grips of a troubled sleep. And there, next to her, holding June, it was Tim. He's just as I remember in those final days, wearing his uniform around town. Show off. Just petrified show off. I'm unsure how to describe him beyond that. He's almost an impression of himself. There must be something to spirit photography. He looked like that. If you blink or you don't focus properly, you'd miss him. Oh, God, I wish I'd missed him. He seared into my brain this translucent, paled version of the man I knew. He was content. Just utterly blissful in that moment. But June, she can feel him. She looked tortured, grief-stricken, even in sleep. I should have woken her up. But I fled. I quite literally fled. I proved myself a coward in Tim's death. Just like in his life. October 18th, 1926. Tim is everywhere now. Morning, afternoon, nights. He flickers in and out all around the house. My God, does he ramble. I thought I was bad. He's not speaking to anyone directly. It's more like tidbits of conversations he's rehashing or reliving, maybe. And while he has manifested around June, she doesn't see him. But there is an undeniable effect. His presence is taking an emotional toll. June is the best of us. Warm, pragmatic, even if she can be a bit of a blue nose. These past few days, she's been erratic, volatile. Before Tim's death, our relationship was always strained. We're different, despite our shared upbringing and striking physical resemblance. I think well, she's always worried for me. Most people perceive me as incapable. June does too, but when Tim died, a lot of that just dissipated. I was here for her. Grief galvanized us. We grew closer. Well, relatively closer. Even so, it's been welcome. Despite the impression I might have given here, rambling on and on, I don't have many people I'm close to in my life. And the truth is, I love my sister. Very, very much. And for the last few years, we've felt like sisters. But suddenly, she's so angry at me. The business with the roof, yes, but everything seems to set her off. It's like a wave. You can watch it rise, crest. It's Tim. The closer he gets physically to her, the more distraught June becomes. And now suddenly I'm underfoot in my own home. Well, in this place I've come to think of as my home. October 18th, 1926. Inspiration has struck. Here's the rub. Tim keeps opening the roof. June goes on a rampage, and I don't feel comfortable leaving my own room, making my late-night trips to the pantry a risk. So I need to put a stop to Tim's shenanigans until I can figure out a more permanent solution. I found a spool of wire in Tim's tool chest. I'm using it to wire the hand crank to the first gear. Like so. Okay. Okay, so, in theory, let's give this a tug. Now that is the elephant's ears. Let's see you unwind that mess, Tim. Perhaps that was more of an expression than an actual direct challenge. Stop it, you oaf. That's Tim. He's pulling on the hand crank. One of the glass panels just splintered in two. It's holding, though. Oh, no. No. Ah! October 18th, 1926. I think I managed to clean up most of the glass and bandage most of my cuts. What a bloody mess. I found some tarps in the cellar. I laid them over the roof. They'll stop water from leaking in if it does rain. Earlier, Tim's outburst was... I don't know what to do. I'm petrified. There hasn't been anything else, though. Maybe he'll leave it alone. Leave me alone? I have no real reason to believe that. Oh, I'm due at work. Again. How am I going to explain my face to Mr. Holden? No. Oh, you odious, redundant, dead bastard! Stop it! What? How did you manage to... She's evicting me. June. Was that Tim's perverse aim, get me out of here and keep June for himself? It's October 19th, 1926. June has had it with her, and I quote, dewdropper of a sister. She's beside herself. She cited a dozen grievances in a single breath. Somewhat impressive. They included my recent obsession with the roof in this room, despite her repeated insistence that I stop opening it. She reminded me this is her home, not mine, and because I cannot seem to respect the rules of her house, it's time for me to go. Permanently. She said I'd been freeloading for too many years. Freeloading. That's why she thinks I'm here. June leaves tomorrow for a visit up north. She'll be back in 9 days, and she wants me gone before her return. Where am I supposed to go? It's become my home, and I'm losing it over a misunderstanding. A ghost has somehow managed to drive me out. It has to be something about Tim being here. This escalation doesn't make sense. June is so angry all of a sudden. I am not the problem here. Tim is. He's manipulating everything, and worse, he's violent. And since I don't know how to broach any of this with June, I'll do one better. Tim has to go. His time is up. The dead have no place among the living.